Hello friends, I am Dr. Vijay Tangde, working as Assistant Professor at Postgraduate Teaching Department of Chemistry of Rashtrapati Tukadoji Maharaj Nagpur University, Nagpur. I welcome you all in this session of online education, methodologies and importance to be delivered in the FDP on overcoming the challenges in adapting technology in teaching and learning, organized by Julilal Institute of Technology, Nagpur. Friends, before going to actual presentation, I thank to the organizers for giving me opportunity to present in front of you. Let us the overall tour of this presentation, how we are going to go throughout the presentation. First, actual going to the technological aspect, we will see why teachers are many a times reluctant in adapting the technological aspect of teaching. Many a times teachers feel that the traditional way of chalk and board is comfortable and is best to them. No doubt it is a comfortable way and best to them. We will chalk out, or we will see what are the fear factors that actually comes in between a teacher and the technological aspect. Then we will see what is the scenario in India of the online education techniques. We will further go in detail to see what are the needs of online technologies, and right now obviously there is no question of it in this diverse time of COVID-19. Later on we will see what are the various initiatives taken by the government as well as the other agencies and the other public platforms which are available, and at the end we will see how to overcome it. So friends, let us start with analyzing what are the fear. Many a times we see that the teacher is reluctant to present or stand in front of the class with the technological aspect instead of having mere chalk and board. This particular point one has to analyze, and there are certain aspects. Basically, the major factors which are responsible for this reluctantness is, I guess, the individual belief. When I personally believe that I can do it, yes, then I usually find out the way to do it. But many a times my personal belief or individual belief comes in between my adoption of technology in teaching. The other factor is feeling of anxiety. Many times when we are not confident in presenting particular topic, we feel anxiety. The same thing happens over here. If the teacher is not well versed or is has not ever handled the technology, he or she may feel anxiety despite he is very good at its subject. The other factors are personal fears, obviously the preferences and perceptions, and many a times at several places we find that the feeling of competence is also one of the reason why teachers are reluctant to go for technological aspect. I mean, the feeling of competency is many times a senior teacher may feel that I am incompetent in handling the technology as compared to my junior. It is obvious, quite obvious, that whatever study aspect or the academic material that a senior teacher has went through, obviously the junior teacher has gone or has faced with lot many new aspects. The teacher's self-belief, I guess, plays a vital role in overcoming these hurdles. What I want to say is, unless teacher himself feels and possesses the positive attitude, the proper orientation required for integrating the technology in teaching is forbidden. Also, it is many a times dependent on the personalities. Like we say, someone is self-motivated. We say someone is traditionalist. So we say someone is careeristics. And there are certain people who are always reluctant. We can call them as reluctants, and the reluctant approaches of the teachers many a times makes it difficult to adapt the technology. For example, if a teacher is reluctant, so obviously he is not enthusiastic when it involves the technology integration, because this particular group of teachers believe in superiority of traditional module of learning than this technological aspect, and they basically focus on teacher-centered model of learning, whereas we need to update ourselves with the time. The other factor is, as I said, competency. Many a times incompetency is one of the main reason faculty chose not to incorporate technology in their teaching. In fact, there is a significantly low number of faculties who are well versed with the computers and other technological aspects involving internet and classroom technological instructions. Majorly, this section involves to those who have been in the field for more than 10 years or so. This group may be reluctant to incorporate technology because they lack technological skills needed. This lack of skills is due to mainly not having trained or not having technology moduled during their early academic career. As I said, anxiety is one of the psychological factor, obviously, which can be handled through right training, and this technological anxiety may be reduced if the faculty members are taken through training and vigorous trainings. Teacher may increase their confidence and competency level through such training programs if they are carried out very frequently. There are certain other aspects as well. The major aspect we feel and we see in around us is age factor. Many times we find that senior teachers, if they are about to retire, they will say, what I'll do by learning this technology. Now I am about to retire. I'll complete my tenure with the traditional way of methods. It can be their perspective. The other inferiority aspect is gender inferiority. We can say, yes, it happens many times. Gender inferiority comes in between the teachers. Not only like females are feeling gender inferiority. There are many times male faculties or male teachers also feel this gender inferiority because of lack of communication skills, because of lack of the technological skills. There can be several other factors. Obviously, such new initiatives need the support by colleagues and partners in many cases. And the other important aspect is managing the masses. When it comes about managing 10 students, 20 students, or even 60 students, it's no matter. In a class, it's like a closed class, I can manage the class. However, when it comes to a global mass wherein I cannot see what is the number of students in front of me, and if my lecture is going global, that particular part keeps me reluctant in adapting this technological aspect. Apart from this, there are certain external factors as well, like the implementation of distance learning programs into curriculum is as such involved complex issue. This issue is complicated further by various factors which influence teachers' use of technology in classroom. We all know, these external factors are like, you need to have good support from your institution as well. You need to have good support from your colleagues as well. You need to have good support from your family members. You need support. You need a real moral boosting up at your initial stage, so that your morale should not goes down. And if I try to sum up all these fear factors, these factors keeps a teacher refrain from adapting the technological aspects into their teaching aspects. However, if we see, it's not that difficult at all. If one starts, one has a will, there will always be a way. What we will see in this presentation is at initial level we will see what are the current status of the technological aspect in India and what are the modules available. So if you see the report released by KPMG India and Google online education scenario in by 2021 will be much enhanced, and that too this report has prepared before COVID-19 effect. So already before COVID-19, India has witnessed an enhanced acceptance of online education over a period of few years. Many students and working professionals have joined different e-learning platforms in past few years in order to enhance their skills. And looking at the trends during last 1 month or so, during the period of lockdown, the number of people adopting online education platform has increased very significantly. The another report of emerging trends in Indian online higher education system. Obviously, this report is also before the COVID-19. And if you see, India has one of the largest higher education system in the world. It mainly consists of three parts like university, college, and courses. And all of these parts in our country are governed by University Grants Commission, Government of India, and their related councils. So if I try to analyze the geographics in our countrywide or the course wise, if you see from this graph, the blue bars which are belonging to MBAs and postgraduate diplomas in management, like management courses, you will see in certain areas it crosses even 50%, 64% going in eastern region. And these management courses, why there is a peak in online education in these particular management fields are these courses are usually done by students after their foundation courses, after their basic degrees. That means these courses are useful in their careers, and therefore many a time students learn these skills while working. And therefore if you see through this graph, the percentage of making MBAs and PGDMs are much higher than any other course. Back to back, there are courses, computer application courses, which can easily be done online, are available, like MCA and other computer technological aspect of the courses, they can be done. Whereas very low percentage of traditional courses like graduation in science, graduation in arts, commerce, and other educational field are very low percentage, except one or two places in our country which are the metro cities. That means the day by day the trends in Indian online higher education is increasing at very faster rate, and we never know what would be the situation after COVID 2019. This trend may completely change. It will be interesting to see such geographics after 1 year from this point of view. Now, why online education is not a question right now? You all must agree with me. Why online education is not a question now? Because this COVID 2019 situation has taken us, all of us, to such a situation where there is no other alternate than going for online education. We are sitting at our place and we are trying to arrange the classes for students. Those who are not even techno savvy, who never have handled technology, they are also forced to do this, and therefore not by force but by choice we should enter into it. So this online education, it has got lot many benefits and lot many pros why one should go for this online education. The very basic point is internet penetration. You will find internet everywhere along with your smartphones. The smartphone penetration along with the internet penetration in our country has spread like anything. And you must have witnessed during this period of lockdown, we all are actually living on the internet, which are available at our phones. Right now, this lecture is being delivered on the internet, which is available on my phone. The flexibility of time is one of the important aspect in such online education. I am very flexible while I am traveling. If I am daily wasting my time in traveling, say for 1 hour or 1.5 hours or 2 hours, I can utilize this time in watching online videos. States like Jammu and Kashmir, where there is always a situation of war, where there is always a situation of curfew, people can utilize this online education system. Apart from this, you can listen to the best of the best teacher across the globe sitting at your own place, and therefore the result, the quality of education that you get is very important. Apart from that, I can analyze how much I have grasped. That means I can get immediate result. I appear for test, I can come to know that how much I could grasp from the lecture above. If I am not satisfied, I can repeat, I can rewatch the video, I can research the material, I can go to other teacher online and I can study this material. Apart from this, government is also providing a lot many boost ups for such programs. The study materials which is available online is at your fingertip. In earlier times, usually what students used to do is they used to attend the lectures of the teacher in classroom, then they used to go to library, they used to find out their own ways of taking out notes. The benefit, obviously that way of taking out notes helps them a lot in learning. However, now the best of the best notes or study material can be made available to them right at the click of their fingertip. And the major important aspect is all such courses are affordable, not only from the financial aspect point of aspect, however they are affordable in terms of their location, the situation around them, the environment, especially for, if I talk about the female percentage of attending this online courses is, out of total number of students enrolling in universities through distance education mode, 46.3% are females, and this percent is really going to grow like anything, because this is the most convenient, most suitable, most safest way through which we can get the education without facing any kind of social troubles. Apart from this, there are other reasons too. Why I say like this? If you find in earlier times, we used to go to library to search books and journals to search out the material. While specifically, if I'm talking about the researches which I'm going to do, I usually used to go to library to search out books, to search out journals, what are the new outcomes in my field. I need to go to library, I need to sit there for hours, for days, for weeks, for months, and maybe sometimes throughout your career you need to go. However, right now the scenario is like, for if you tell your student to find out something, he'll immediately take out his smartphone from his pocket and search out on Google, and whatever book you want, whatever journal you want, it is available at your fingertip. And therefore one has to go for online education. The electronic resources are rich and available anytime, anywhere and everywhere. The multiple user can access at the same time. It's not like there is limited number of books, there are limited number of copies of journal. It's not like that. If, multiple number of access points can be created, and if I'm a teacher, I can contact to multiple number of points, multiple number of institutes at multiple numbers of places simultaneously. And that is what is the biggest advantage. Why I'm insisting on all these aspects is, see, we being a teacher, everybody has got their own potentials in classrooms, and our students really admire us for these skills. But everybody has got certain best skill while teaching a particular topic. So your best skill should reach to all the students across the globe, so that your, not only your name and fame should go, the student particularly will get the benefit from the best of the teacher. The online technologies, why we say that it is a need of an hour, is the digital platform gives an open access to information, education and learning to anywhere, anytime, everyone, empowering students of this country. The availability of tool as per the need of learner is another important aspect, as we have discussed. The access to the best knowledge and the best teachers, and the instructor adjusts to the students most of the time. In earlier times, students has to adjust as per the teacher. However, this is the scenario, this is a generation where a teacher has to adjust as per the need of the student, or else the student will go to teacher who is adjusting as per his convenience. And nevertheless important, the contents are continuously being updated based on the feedback and new findings, which is very important. It's not like that I'm reading a book on from 1920 and I'm applying the same principle. Yes, of course, these basic fundamental principles are equally important at their places. However, it needs to be updated simultaneously. Looking at all these scenarios, various initiatives our government has taken. If you see UGC, AICTE, NPTEL, all management institutes, NCERT, IGNOU, CEC, and all other major institutes in our country and abroad, they have taken the initiatives. Not only abroad, the government of India has taken major initiative in recent 3 years for motivating the faculties across the nation to generate the online materials, so that nationwide the material, the best teachers are available to all the students, and many of the programs they have been made free to almost all who are interested in learning. For this, the government of India has made the MOOC as a platform. It's not like the government of India has introduced it. Already many people were since long they were using the MOOC platform. What is MOOC platform? The MOOC platform is a massive open online courses. Why it is so important and why it is so widely published and famous platform, that it actually focuses on everything, right from scalability to community and connections. You can deal with massive, I'm not talking about hundreds, thousands, 10,000s of online, it can deal with millions at the same time. It is open to all. No local restrictions are there. You can real time interact with the teachers. You can start as per your convenience in self-paced courses. You can get real college credits. Government of India has made now it is compulsory almost in all universities. It is in process. Role of instructor in preparing this MOOC is very important. You can create the best of the knowledge, and as per your imagination you can introduce the things in MOOCs. This MOOC platform, based on this MOOC platform, there are various online platforms have been created. Just to name: Coursera, edX, Udacity, FutureLearn, OpenStudy, Code Academy, Open Learning, NPTEL, Khan Academy, Udemy, Alinson, and most importantly, all of us we are witnessing the success of Swayam since last 2 or 3 years. In almost in October or November 2017, Government of India has launched it, and you can witness now majority of us are once or many a times visited to the Swayam portals for carrying out our work. Government of India has also taken the initiative to integrate almost all different educational systems on one platform, that is Swayam. NPTEL is also available on Swayam. UGC is also available on Swayam. NCERT is available on Swayam. AICTE is available on Swayam, and almost all national institutes, including Management Institute, Educational Institutes, all national institutes are available on Swayam platform. You name it and you have it. That is the nature of Swayam. If you see, this is one of the glimpse. If you see the lower yellow icons here, there are Arpit courses. This is annual refresher program in teaching courses. Now Government of India has taken a really innovative initiative in bringing up the teachers appraisals scheme. These Arpit courses are made to teachers available at their convenience. In earlier times, we find that for making orientation courses, for refresher courses, one has to take leave from college for say 21 days or even for 4 weeks from the college, wherein the college work was also used to get hampered, and college management many a times failed their inability to relieve the teacher, and therefore it was hampering to a great extent for a teacher's career point of view, as well as his or her growth in knowledge aspects. However, this Arpit courses since last 2 years we are witnessing, it has made everything so suitable and so accommodable to almost everybody. If I am sitting even at a small place or small village in our country, I can manage my college, I can manage my institute, and I can attend all those refresher courses, orientation courses on my phone, on my tab, or on my desktop computer. The only thing I need is a basic internet connection, which is available almost everywhere in our country right now. The other initiatives that Government of India has taken in this adverse time of COVID-19 is the Swayam online courses for engineering, non-engineering, senior secondary NCERT textbooks. Almost Government of India has made free. Ebooks for classes secondary and senior secondary courses of NCERT have made. Certificate courses and diploma courses from IGNOU are also made free. There are other ICT initiatives. If you visit the Swayam online portal, you will find there are a number of ways in which the government of India has helped in overcoming the hurdles. If you wish to learn, there is everything which is available online. The only thing from your end that needs is you need to take the next aspect is the development platform for the MOOC courses. However, I guess this is not the right platform to deal in detail for the development of MOOC. The only thing I would like to tell you is that if you feel comfortable with all these technological aspect, Government of India is ready to fund, MHRD is ready to fund you with much handsome amount to produce your own courses, which we call it as the MOOC courses on SWAYAM. You can create your refresher course, you can create your certificate course, you can create your self-paced course, and all you need is the zeal. Everything else is available for support from MHRD side, from Government of India side, and even on our local university level, the things are available. This is one of the course which I have been coordinating in 2018-19. It was a refresher course in disaster management, which was interdisciplinary, which was allotted as NRC to Nagpur University, and wherein you can see almost 1,000 students got enrolled to this course, and 1,000 students nationwide students could get benefited by attending this course online. So this is the power of this course, that no refresher course from no university can accommodate 1,000 participants into course. However, here in this refresher course, we have witnessed a single refresher course has enrolled as much as more than 5,000 participants across the nation. It depends on how many number of teachers across the nation are available to that particular course. However, this is the span of expansion of online technology courses through SWAYAM is. These are a few of the glimpses of our courses, wherein various faculties from various national institutes and international institutes of repute, we could make them available for convenience of the learners. EPG Pathshala was one of the initiatives that government has taken, wherein majority of the earlier videos on educational videos were available before SWAYAM. However, now it has also been merged at SWAYAM, and you can also watch all such videos on SWAYAM. There are other platforms of e-learning wherein not only teachers, however, teacher-student interactions. When it comes to teacher-student interaction, these platforms help a lot. These platforms, it is not like these platforms have risen up during the time of COVID-19. Almost all the globe, across the globe, people are using it since long. To name, there are several e-learning platforms. To name few of them, I have given on the slide: Udemy, Teachable, VizIQ, Ruzuku, Educadium, LearnWords, ThinkPic, Academy of Minds, CourseCraft, Skillshare, and all of them, they have got their own individual expertise and benefits over one another. You can really visit to all of them. Not all of them are free, but then yes, you can try at least one or two of them, and you can see how they work. The more you will play, more you will like it. There are other learning management systems which are really important in the times of COVID-19 kind of situation right now we are facing. Since after March 16 at our place, we have witnessed the drastic and significant change in the learning management systems and teaching learning pattern. Almost everybody has been affected. Not only students are sitting at their own place. Many of the students are getting frustrated. They are not they are really directionless. Under this situation, almost all of us are taking efforts. Many of us are being contact with them, with the students, with WhatsApp, with emails, with various chat platforms, or even public platforms like Google Meet, Duo, Skype, Zoom, and like this workshop is going on Upgrad. All these learning management systems has to be really important, has got really important role in playing. There are certain systems like Edmodo, which is the one which I am using since last 2 months, wherein I have created all my classes and I find it very interactive. Initially, I was also hesitated in joining all the students on single platform, and I was also thinking how it will work. However, once you join it, you will find it very important, and it is very user friendly. You just need to log in, and you will find that it is as easier as handling WhatsApp on your mobile. This is the snapshot of my Edmodo profile, which is available online for my students. I have created several classes, and students usually submit their all assignments, quizzes, tests, and I can provide all my material, my notes, books, presentations on this platform. This is also one of the good platform which is available. The Upgrad is also one of the good platform which has been provided to the university, and I guess we all should take the benefit of this platform. The other online portals available, I guess all of you are aware of these platforms. Google Meet, Classrooms, just now I have spelled out. Now, we were all talking about how to, what are the tools which are available to us. However, how to familiarize with new technologies is really, I also agree to many extent that for a person, a senior person, or for a person who has never encountered with the technological aspects of teaching, he feels hesitant to handle the technology for the first time. However, one has to start somewhere, and therefore what I suggest is try to start with basic one. The most important thing you can do is the very first thing we can have is have an open mind. I can understand this is critical. You can't reach out with the folded arms. One needs to change thinking from I can't do that to I'll figure out a way to make that happen. I like to call this moving from no way to not yet thinking. Instead of telling yourself why you can't do it, tell yourself you might not be able to do it yet, but you are willing to pay the price. Get the help from the best. You have got various sources which are available in and around you. Approach to them. If you approach somebody for getting some knowledge, there is no harm. In this sense, you will always be saving your time, your money, and your energy. And my honest suggestion is always make friendship with your younger ones. They are always techno savvy. They can definitely help out because they are little logical in handling this technological aspect, because they have been learning this from their childhood, and therefore we should not get hesitated to approach our younger ones. Take smaller task. One day decide that I'll write down this particular paragraph or this particular page of my note, then try to add mathematical notations into it, then try to add figure into it, then try to add a movie into it, then accordingly try to add the various formatting options into it. So practice will make you perfect. Try to make a basic video of yourself. Take a selfie, take your own video for 1 minute and try to listen to yourself, and yes, always have fun. So that's all, my friends. Thank you for your patient listening. Thank you.